Hi guys, it's Jake at Canadian Cutting Edge, and I've got a video for my fellow Canadian viewers. I'm recording this on the Saturday of the May long weekend 2017, and at Canadian Tire, they've got a pair of knives that are $10 each right now. Huntshield is a brand name that belongs to Canadian Tire, so it's their own brand knives. It's better than their Outbound brand of knives and other camping stuff. Their Outbound stuff is pretty low end. Huntshield line is supposed to be a better, a little higher end, not high end, higher line of knives and stuff. And they've got outdoor equipment, outdoor clothes and stuff in the Huntshield brand as well. In any case, when you see this price at $10 for this week right now, you might be saying, hey, is that knife worth it? $10? That's a good steal. A folding knife? Not bad. I wish I knew more about it before I go and buy it. Well, that's why I'm doing this video. I'm not going to do a full review of these knives, but I want to tell you a little bit about them. So I picked these up yesterday. The sale started yesterday, Friday, as all their sales do. And let's start with this knife. This is the Huntshield MacKenzie EDC folder. It's normally $39.95 or $39.99 or whatever, so $40 is what they expect you to think this knife is worth. Now, you should already be aware, if you're a Canadian, that Canadian Tire sells their brand stuff at 50% off relatively frequently. Every 3-4 months, you can find their stuff usually has gone on sale for a week at about half the price. But this is a quarter of the price, 25% off. This guy is 80% off. So at 75% off, is this knife worth a 75% discount? Well, let me tell you about it. First off, we've got, I'm not sure if that's real wood or not. You've got aluminum scales, steel liners, a fairly deep pocket clip. It does sit very deep in the pocket. And it doesn't sit quite as deep if you put it in the tip up position, but you can. The pocket clip can go in the tip up position as well. And so then this aluminum is sort of made to look like it's got a wood grain in it and stuff. It's still a fairly weighty knife. I'll put the weight on the screen right here. Steel is 440. Now that is your grandfather's, when your grandfather was a boy, that was a really good steel. Nowadays, it's definitely a very budget steel. Don't be thinking 440C when you see 440. 440C is a significantly better steel than just plain old 440. 440 is the same thing as if you see 440A. Those two are the same steel. But it's a reasonable steel at $10 for a $10 knife. It's an edge that you'll be able to sharpen. It won't last terribly long compared to modern steels, even modern budget steels, but it'll last, for enough cutting. And you've got, a good sized blade here. Yeah, blade length, they're saying, is 9 centimeters, 3.5 inches. You've got tip up, tip down, right side only, fairly weighty nylon washers on both sides of the pivot, and it doesn't flip. My finger's still pretty sore. Oh, it did flip. With a little bit of wrist action, it did that time, you can get it to flip. Without wrist action, it's not going to flip. It just doesn't have a good enough detent. But, you do and you can get it that way. So for $10, I say if you like how this thing looks and you want this style of knife and you don't mind the little lower price steel, $10, go for it. If they don't have it in stock, they should give you a rain check for it. Is the Huntshield Elite folder. Elite. Ooh. So let's take it out. They say it's a 3.2-inch 8.1 centimeter blade, but the blade comes out almost a full centimeter from the handle before the cutting edge starts. So it's a shorter cutting edge. I'll put the length of the cutting edge on the screen right here. And hollow grind. The other one was hollow grind as well. This one's got no coating on it. It's also 440C. You've got a unique kind of setup on this guy. You've got a pocket clip in the tip down position from the factory, which is pretty good. Oh, it's hard to do some of this with my sore finger. So from the factory, you've got that orientation with the knife. It's pretty deep in the pocket because it's got a deep carry pocket clip. I like that a lot. And it's black coated, so it's not going to be too reflective. But if you want tip up, you have to do left side. This is the first knife I've seen this way, where you've got right side tip down, left side tip up. And that's because the pocket clip curves. It's got a bit of a curve to it. If you want tip up, it's going to be sitting higher out of your pocket. This is genuine G10, which is good. You've got their name milled into the G10 here. That's kind of nice. It also adds a tiny bit of purchase, not much really. The texture is quite nice. You got a fair bit of grip on it. I like this knife handle. This knife handle is better than this knife handle. Definitely. But I just don't understand why we've got a centimeter of the blade wasted without having it sharp. It just doesn't make sense to me. They could have made more of the knife sharp on this knife than what they have. The weight of this guy is a little bit lighter. They come in the package open. So if you go to your local store, take a look at each one that they have and turn it sideways and look at it side on and see where the lockup is, because you'll be able to see it. And then pick the one that's got the earliest lockup, unless it's way too early. But that's one good thing that you can do with these knives. You can see where the lockup is. This one also has 2 nylon washers. And these washers on both these knives are quite thick, thicker than what you see on most knives that you see on this channel. You know, you might find knives with nylon washers, but they're usually not that thick. These two are thick and with a small diameter. These two are thick, but they've got a much wider diameter, and so you're not going to get side-to-side kind of blade play. It's a little flexy on this one, side-to-side. No problem up and down. I did put graphite on the lockup on both of these knives, and that's because whatever grinder they were using to grind the end of the blade where it locks up, you know, you got the blade on an angle, not the sharp edge, but the when the knife is closed, you can see the tang of the blade where the lockup happens on a liner lock, and it's on an angle. It's very roughly ground. So you can see a lot of the grain of the grinding. And so you get a tiny bit of stick on both of these liner locks. And that sucks. I can't even get this one to flick open. Oh, I got it. That was a major amount of wrist action. But what I was saying, the lockup is a bit gritty on this because they had such a rough grinding on the blade stock end. So a little bit of, you just take a pencil and you just rub it on the end there between those two surfaces, and that adds a little bit of lubrication without, making it too free. You never want to use oil on the lockup faces. That'll have your lock arm go too far with the freedom, less friction, and then your lockup is going to be too tight and it's going to be really bad. It's going to make it worse. So if you want to improve your lockup as far as if it's a little bit sticky, just slightly sticky, then graphite is the way to go. And you can get that off of a pencil. So $10 for both of these knives. Where did I put the other knife? $10 for both of these knives. I say, yeah, sure, go ahead, spend $10. Pick the very best one that you can at the store. But remember, you are going to have a $10 knife at the end of the day. I do not recommend these knives at regular price. But at $10, yeah, they're pretty decent, especially if you need to get some cheaper knives to to play with a little bit, or to practice your sharpening on, or you need to give a $10 gift somewhere, $10, isn't bad. So there you go. Thank you for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting, and sharing, especially the commenting part. That's one of my favorite. No, actually, my favorite is if you subscribe. I really like that the best. But thank you so much. Remember, always cut towards your chum, that is the other guy, and not your thumb or your index finger. Bye now.